Hi students, this presentation is about the 15th Annual Sustainable Santa Monica Student Poster Contest. In this presentation, I will talk about the theme of the contest, and then I will talk about the rules and guidelines of the contest. So this poster contest is presented by the City of Santa Monica and Sustainable Works, and this year's theme is Together, Let's Create a Community Full of Kindness, Dignity, and Equity. Well, what does this have to do with sustainability? Well, there are three pillars to sustainability. There's the environment, which we're all aware of, taking care of the planet, keeping it healthy. There's economic, which is making sure that people can earn a living wage and that businesses have the resources they can to do business. And then there's equity, which is treating people fairly. So all three are important to have a sustainable society. So we need environment, we need economy, and we need equity. So what do kindness, dignity, and equity mean? Well, everyone knows what kindness is: being friendly, being generous, being considerate. So thinking of other people's needs and feelings, not just your own. But dignity is a little bit more challenging. It's being valued as a human being and treated in a way that does not cause harm. So we treat people with dignity when we value them, just simply because they're human beings. People do confuse respect with dignity, and they're both really important, but they're very different. Respect is when you show admiration for someone because of their abilities or what things that they have accomplished. So it needs to be earned. Respect is earned. So when you respect your teachers because they help you, they're kind to you, they have a lot of education, they have a lot of knowledge. You respect your parents. But it has to be earned. And you can also lose someone's respect. So if someone doesn't treat you well, you may lose respect for them. But dignity is a given. You don't have to do anything to be treated with dignity. It's inherent in our humanity to be treated ethically and to be treated fairly. So dignity is a given. It's not does not need to be earned as respect does. And then the third part of this is equity, and equity refers to fairness and justice. People sometimes confuse equality with equity. Equality is being equal, so we treat everyone the same, and this picture illustrates it pretty well. So on the left we have equality, which all these people, the person in the wheelchair, a man, the woman, and the child all have the same exact bicycle. So they're all equal. They all have the same exact bike. But is that fair? No, it's not fair, because obviously the person in the wheelchair can't ride a regular bicycle. Equity is giving them all bicycles that they could actually use. So the man who's the tallest has the largest bike, the child has a small bike that fits them, and the person in the wheelchair has a bike that does not require them to use legs. So that's what equity is. It's realizing that we don't all start from the same place and we don't all have the same needs, but meeting us where we are and giving us what we need as individuals to be successful. And this quote pretty much says it all. Equality is giving everyone the same pair of shoes. Equity is giving everyone a pair of shoes that fits. So it's not about being exactly the same. It's about looking at people as individuals and seeing what they need. So what happens when we aren't treating each other with kindness, dignity, and equity? There's a couple things. And the first one we'll talk about is bullying. So bullying is something that you're probably all familiar with. Bullies often lack empathy, so they don't really can feel other people's feelings. They usually have low self-esteem. They don't feel good about themselves for a variety of reasons. Maybe they don't feel as smart as other people, or they don't feel like they can accomplish as much as other people, or they're jealous of people because they have things that they don't have. So they act out, and in order to make themselves feel better, because they don't feel good about themselves, they treat someone else badly. They either physically harm them, they laugh at them, they criticize them, they make fun of them. So they put them down, because when you put someone down, you feel like you feel better about yourself. You lift yourself up. So the issues really with bullying is not about the person who's being bullied, but the issue is with the person who's bullying. And they are not obviously showing kindness. They're not treating someone with dignity or equity. So bullying is one of the things that happens when we don't have these qualities. The next one is prejudice and discrimination. So Prejudice is the unfair and harmful treatment of a different category of people based upon their gender, their race, their social class. So it's really having merely a negative attitude towards someone just based upon a group that they're a member of, whether it's a group like they're an elderly person, so they're a group of older people, or it's their race or the color of their skin. So you don't know anything about them, but you treat them negatively simply because they're part of this group. And this all comes from ignorance and misinformation. When we don't know something, we tend to fear it, and then fear causes us to have bad feelings about someone. And it's all because we don't have the information about it, and we get scared. And then discrimination. So prejudice is actually the attitude, feeling negative. Discrimination is acting on that. And an example of that would be, an old elderly person comes in, applies for a job, and the person who's hiring automatically says to themselves, well, I'm not going to hire this person. They're old. They're not able to do this job, without knowing the person as an individual. They just assume they're discriminating against them just simply because they're a certain age, and just assuming that old people aren't capable of doing work. So it's really, you feel the negative feeling, which is prejudice, and then you act on it in a negative way, which is discrimination. And then we can go a step further with hate. And this involves evidence of bias, hate crimes, or hatred. And so you really have a perceived feeling about the people, whether it's, again, their race, ethnicity, their religion, their sexual orientation, all of those things. And you have a strong prejudice that leads to hate, causes you to commit crimes like hurting someone physically, or destroying property, burning something down, or breaking windows, or damaging someone's car. It's a crime that comes from this really intense prejudice and discrimination. And then we have social or environmental injustice. So social injustice is when actions are taken that infringe upon a group's rights, or gives them less opportunities, or they're treated unfairly. And when we throw the environment into it, it refers to a set of actions that harm the environment while also alienating specific groups or communities. And a common example of this would be a company that pollutes local water resources. Typically, it's in a community, low income, or people of color. So it's injustice because we're treating this group of people poorly, but it's environmental because it's also harming the environment at the same time. So what's being done to create a community full of kindness, dignity, and equity? Well, in the city of Santa Monica, on September 20th, the city took bold steps to advance racial justice by doing a few things. By supporting the creation of the Santa Monica Black Lives Association. It's a nonprofit designed by Black community leaders to support Black Santa Monicans. And then they also approved equity and inclusion officers for every city department. So no matter what department you're in, whether it's the fire department or in building and safety, they have equity officers. And then they're working on police reform, including the creation of a police commission. And this is the first of its kind in Santa Monica. So these are things that the city is doing. In addition, the city of Santa Monica is supporting United Against Hate. United Against Hate is a campaign that's celebrated in November. It's been being celebrated since 2017. And people come together with the clear message that we reject hate of any kind and believe that building a safer and more equitable world starts by working together. So the city supports that, which is important. And then the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District is doing things. They created a diversity, equity, inclusion focus in the district. So this has become a main focus. And they ask 3 questions when they're assessing any practice, anything they're going to do new in the district. They ask, is it good for kids? Is it benefiting some kids at the expense of BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color? And is it sustainable? So before they implement anything, they ask those 3 questions and then make sure that they can answer properly to those questions. And it's really at the core of what the district is doing, and in their training. So what can you do as an individual and as a group of students? What can you do to advance kindness, dignity, and equity in the community? Well, the easiest thing you can do is do something nice for someone. Be the reason someone smiles today. And this seems really simple and basic, but it's really important. We could tend to do nice things for our best friends, our family, but we really need to reach out a little further and look at people maybe in our class that we don't ever talk to, or we think maybe you're not interested in them at all, but you could do something kind for them. It could be a teacher, it could be someone out, outside of your class, in your activity, after school activities. Reaching out to people outside your normal group to do something nice and make them smile. And we really, when we do something kind to someone, it really makes them feel good. But what we forget is that it also makes us feel good. When you do something kind for someone and they respond with a smile or a thank you, it really makes you feel good. So it's just spreading kindness, and it's really important to go outside of our normal comfort zone and do nice things for other people. The next thing we can do is, if you see something, say something. I'm sure you've heard this before. If you see someone who's being unkind or hurting someone or being mean, say something. If you're comfortable, say it directly to them. If you're not comfortable, you can talk to a friend and tell them, and they can talk with the person with you. You can go to a teacher, a counselor, a principal, anyone in your school. You can go to a parent, any adult. And this isn't just in school. If it's after school at soccer or at a camp or anywhere where you're in a group of people and you see someone doing something that you know is not right, you should really say something, because it's really important that these people who are doing these things are spoken to and help to understand why what they're doing is not okay, and help them learn and grow and change their behavior. We can also learn about and celebrate our differences. It's really important that we have differences. We know that doing everything the same all the time is boring. It doesn't allow us to grow. We really grow and learn and have great experiences when we come upon something that's new and different. And we don't all want to be the same, just like we don't want to have the same meal every day. We don't want to wear the same clothes every day. We don't want to watch the same TV show every day. We want to have differences and embrace them in our life, because it makes it more exciting, more interesting, and it allows us to grow and learn. But on the other side, we also want to find joy in what we have in common. So a lot of times we look at people and we think, oh, they're so different from me, merely from the outside. We know nothing about them. But when we really dig deep and we talk to other people, and this is globally, we find that we really have so much more in common than we think. And it's easy to just look at the differences and say, oh, those aren't my people, or I don't like them. But it's really important to realize that there's so much more to people, and that deep down inside, we have more in common. And Ernest Gaines says, we all have much more in common than we have difference. I would say that about people all over the world. They don't know how much in common that they have. And then we can learn for environmental justice. We can learn about environmental justice, which is the fair treatment and involvement of all people, regardless of their race, color, national origin, or income, when creating, implementing, and enforcing environmental laws, rules, and policies. So that's what happens to people of color or in low-income communities, where there's these laws implemented and they have no part in it, and they're treated poorly in the situation. So it's really important that we create an environment of environmental justice where everyone is brought into the conversation, and we really protect all people, regardless of what they look like or what they do or how much money they have. And we can also volunteer. California Environmental Justice Alliance, there's a link there, has volunteer opportunities, and you can join a protest against environmental injustice. And you can also participate in Zero Discrimination Day. It's March 1st, so when I'm doing this presentation, it's either coming up or it has passed already, but it comes around every year. It's an international celebration. It's primarily celebrated by the United Nations along with other international organizations, and it aims to end all forms of inequality and discrimination. It was created in December of 2013, and it was inspired by World AIDS Day. So you can learn more about it at unaids.org. So that's it for the theme. That is our theme for this year. Let's talk about the rules and guidelines for the contest. First of all, I'm educating you. You're going to create your posters to educate the community. These posters will be put up hopefully in the main library, as we did before COVID. They'll also be displayed at the celebration at the end of the contest, which I'll talk about in a second. So it's your opportunity to educate the community. So what we want you to do in your poster, we want you to show us how we can create a community full of kindness, equity, and dignity. There are 4 categories of judging. So there's kindergarten through second, third through fifth, sixth through eighth, and ninth through 12th. And there's 4 winners in each category. So there'll be a grand prize winner, a second place winner, a third place winner, and an honorable mention winner. And all entries will be judged on their originality, creativity, and how well they show the theme of this year's contest, which is together, let's create a community full of kindness, dignity, and equity. So a few more rules and guidelines for the contest. This contest is open to all kindergarten through 12th grade students who live or attend school in Santa Monica. You can only submit 1 poster per student. So if you can make a couple posters if you want, but you can only submit 1 for the contest. Only original artwork will be accepted. No copyrighted material will be accepted. So you can't copy something off the internet or from a book. You can talk to your family, your friends to get ideas, to brainstorm, but the idea really has to be yours and you can't copy it from another source. Posters must be hand-drawn, your hand. You can't have anyone else drawing your poster. No glue or tape. It gets really messy when we stack the posters and we don't want to damage your poster. On white paper, which I will supply your teacher with, so no problem in getting that. And you can use a lot of different types of drawing implements like pens, paint, crayons, markers, pencils, pastels. The posters at a minimum have to be 8.5 by 11. I will be supplying your teacher with 11 by 17 paper that you can use. And you could either do your poster in the horizontal, also known as landscape, or vertical, also known as portrait, whichever works better for your idea. And the theme together, let's create a community full of kindness, dignity, and equity must appear on your poster. And all entries will become the property of the City of Santa Monica, which will hold publication rights for the winning entries. Entries may not be returned, but I typically do return them, and I'll explain that again at the end. And then what's really important is I need to be able to contact you if you win. So on the back of each poster paper, there will be a sticker, and we need you to include your name, your school, your grade, and your teacher's name in case they get mixed up or they're dropped and they get messed up. I'd need to be able to find you if you win. So it's really, really important to do that. So first thing you do when you get your paper is fill out that form and then flip it over and create your artwork. And the posters are due March 31st. If you submit them through class, I will arrange to pick them up from your teacher. If you submit them independently, they do need to be turned in by March 31st. So at the end, we have a big celebration every year. It's not just for the winners, it's for everyone, anyone who participated, their friends, family, teachers, students, anyone can come to the event. It's on May 17th, which is a Wednesday, and it's the Annenberg Community Beach House. These are the winners from last year. Some of the high school students are missing. And then these are 3 students enjoying the delicious food. We have pizza, we have frozen yogurt at the event. It's really fun. And there are prizes, so we may sometimes offer a little giveaway to everyone who comes in, but we do have prize drawing tickets that you get when you enter, and you can win prizes. There's wristbands for Pacific Park. Last year we had a $50 gift card for Blink. Annenberg is now donating, I think, 4 passes, so you could go and spend the day at the Annenberg Beach House in the summer for free. A couple other donations that we get. And then there's prizes for the winners. So honorable mention will get a $10 cash. The third place winner will get a $25 gift card. Second place winner gets a $50 gift card, and the grand prize winner gets a $100 gift card. So it's a great event. It's a great opportunity to celebrate. And the posters, again, I did mention, will be displayed at the library. And at this contest, the winning posters will be framed, and all the posters, even the non-winners, their posters will be there so the community can see them, and you'll have the ability to take your posters with you if you want to keep them. So thank you for allowing me to share this presentation. I hope you participate in the contest. We look forward to seeing your great art. Thank you.